sometimes we have to reduce a lot of the animations just to keep the file size small. When it comes to like motion specs, it's just really painful.
All right, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I have just a couple of questions for you. I wanted to get to know a little bit more about your experience using LottieFiles during this time and get to know a little bit of how you're using it every day, how it has transformed your animation process. And so yeah, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time. We really, really, really appreciate this.
Yeah, sounds good. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Perfect. So I wanted to ask you about the process before LottieFiles. What were your biggest pain points? How has that changed over time as LottieFiles came in?
Well, when I joined Uber Design, the team was actually already using LottieFiles. The small file size and compatibility across our platforms made it kind of a no-brainer. But we didn't have a centralized library of animations. And instead, designers were kind of using their personal Lottie accounts to create and download animations and then hand off to their engineers. And that was an issue in itself because, well, some of the more like elaborate animated illustrations that we had were created by our in-house animator or our partner agencies. So like, as you can imagine, we were starting to see a lot of inconsistencies for our base design system team in particular. We were having a problem with like rogue confetti popping up in certain
rogue confetti, I love it. You could say that the quality, the consistency of the animation has improved over time by using LottieFiles and having kind of like the central repository for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Lottie Enterprise workspace pretty much changed everything because now the team can see like all of the animations that the design systems team is creating and that they can leverage because we have them all in this like centralized place. So they can easily browse assets from like animated icons to like celebration animations that now Melody is creating.
Yeah, I could also add a little bit. Before Uber, I was working at a startup and we didn't have any Lottie implemented in the workflow. So it was pretty painful, to be honest, to handling like design handoffs. And I remember I was supporting the engineering on like motion and animation for websites and product a little bit. Sometimes we have to reduce a lot of the animations just to keep the file size small. When it comes to like motion specs, it's just really painful. You have to. So for example, if this animation has like multiple elements, a lot of moving parts, we basically have to write down everything that is moving in different properties as well. And then a lot of time it just lost in translations. And yeah, we sometimes had to just settle with it. But I'm so happy that when I joined Uber, like, you know, Lottie's already implemented in a system and it's just make everything much smoother. And we can really like spend the time focusing on the animation itself.
But if we were to pick, like, what is the biggest win of using LottieFiles, right? Is it the collaboration part? Is it the animations they're producing? What is for you the biggest win?
The big win is like now we can just kind of like see each other's files in Lottie. If we need to make small adjustments in things, we can just kind of like import things into After Effects, work on them there, you know.
One question there, a little bit off script. Have you tried using Lottie Creator at all so far?
In a little bit. So we work predominantly in After Effects, but making small adjustments, especially like if we just need to do things like adjust color and things like that, we'll work in Lottie Creator. We're also starting to experiment with state machines, which is super exciting. Right. And so, yeah, we're using Lottie Creator and state machines, and our engineers are really excited about that. And it's pretty cool.
Nice. Have you tried tokens or taken a look at tokens at all?
We haven't really used them yet because our engineers weren't sure they could use them. So not yet.
It can be useful not only for your engineers, but for yourselves, because you can associate colors or a specific motion or sizing to a token. And then whenever you make a change of that applies everywhere. A little bit like, you know, Figma color styles, so that, right? Or variables. So yeah, that can be useful maybe.
We should probably look into that for when we're converting animation to dark mode for sure.
What impact did Lottie or using LottieFiles has had in key performance indicator?
It's been really exciting to see the impact that even small animations can have on product experiences. Like, so even like a very small animated icon can like drive enough attention to an element that really like significantly impacts performance metrics. And so we have a lot of product managers getting really excited about using animation more in product just because we're having
They're getting
these
the metrics improved. They're getting
yeah,
the metrics
fantastic
improved.
results. But yeah, we've also like used animation, sort of like more custom celebration experiences. Like if you're ordering an electric vehicle, or if you're getting matched with a women driver, Melody did this great animation for the women driver matching. But yeah, it just really drives engagement and like sort of like makes the products a little bit more emotional. And you know, when people are like connecting their values to the product, and we're celebrating those things. And so but yeah, the results have been incredible.
If you were to describe LottieFiles to someone that hasn't tried it before, who haven't heard of it, what's like the one thing you would like them to know?
I would say that they're small and powerful vector-based animation files that can now contain interactive state logic. So that's super exciting.
I would say Lottie for me is like a translator for motion. So it's like a bridge communicating with motion designers and like developers, and that just turns animation into like a tiny little codes that they could implement it right away.
What is the coolest animation you made? The one that you're most proud of, the one that you think, oh, this is awesome.
With Lottie and for Uber, I also wanted to just, you know, let's mention about the woman driver custom animation. I feel like that's a pretty cool project that I worked on. So basically, we want to celebrate and empower woman driver. And when the female or woman users match with a woman driver, then they triggers this like custom like flower animation just to celebrate and empower, you know, this. And I think it's pretty rewarding because you see how animations, you know, like it's delightful and it boosts interest and it just like improve overall like user experience. I feel like it's a pretty cool win, I think. I'm
ridiculously proud of some of the smaller icon animations I've done. I think the rocket ship is my favorite one. But I think the coolest project that we've used Lottie for, or that I've used Lottie for, was when we were introducing autonomous vehicles to our platform. We did a series of like more like elaborate takeover animations over certain dialogues and things like that. And it was an exciting product launch, and it was just like something different and cool, and it got people really excited about the product.
If there is something that has been a pain point or something that you want to, you know, ask away.
We have been using like blur a lot, but I know like you can sort of cheat it with Lottie, but it would be amazing if we could just apply, well, because I mainly use After Effects, and that would be awesome. We could just like, you know, apply like the standard blur.
This might be a file format thing. If you're still using JSON as your main file format instead of dotlottie, you might run into more compatibility issues or these kind of things. My understanding is that dotlottie, the latest file format, supports blur and layer blending all in. And it also is cross-compatible across the board, iOS, Android, web, everywhere. But consider moving to dotlottie because it's going to enable so much more.